In this video, my client Yvonne and I are going to discuss what it takes to get the results you actually want in a coaching program. You know, the reason that you join a coaching program in the first place: transformation. There are very specific mindset patterns that you must be aware of if you want to win. I've not only been in many programs myself, but also observed hundreds of people take part in these programs. I've seen the patterns and can very often recognize whether or not someone is likely to succeed. Success leaves clues. Yvonne has been a client of mine for several years now, having participated in both my group and one-on-one programs. And he's had successful results every single time. Not only are we going to discuss what he came to see me for help with recently, but I also asked Yvonne why he's able to consistently succeed in coaching programs. So if you're serious about learning how to get the results you're looking for, listen closely, because I found that simply by modeling other successful people, you make yourself likely to succeed as well. We're here with Yvonne. Awesome to see you. You've been an amazing client of mine. You have done so well in my program. And I want you to share your story and talk to us about what your experience has been like working together. So we've worked together, by the way, before, and you reached out to me again and you wanted to resume one-on-one coaching together. So let's start by, you want to share like what you experienced before, what our previous experience has been?
Yes, absolutely. Well, pretty much the reason why I approached you is I had multiple problems that I was facing it. And the number one problem was fear of having a heart attack, which is like maybe not so common for some people. But for me, it was something which is like very, very unusual, which maybe I was having this even since my childhood, that maybe I got from my father or something like this. So anyway, I had like some kind of fear that I will have a heart attack. Like I was literally visualizing that in a couple seconds from now, something bad will happen, that I will have a heart attack, which like for me was like very stressful, right? And the second thing that also I had, which is kind of connected with the first one, is not being able to control my emotions with certain people. So for example, I'm a very emotional person and I can get really easy triggered by some people. And I never knew why. I never knew how to not just to control it, but how to react, how to deal with that, right? So pretty much that was like why actually we started working together. And now, I mean, if I compare now, like where it was before, now it's like a different person, like better understanding, knowing exactly, okay, why certain things are happening, and how to deal with that, how to have understanding why certain things are happening to me when it comes to stress, when it comes to other people, and how to react.
You are a language coach, right?
Correct. Right.
Yeah. Talk about what you do. What do you do? How do you help people? You're a coach. You live in Dubai, right?
Correct. I moved like maybe 1 year ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, pretty much for the last 5 years, I work as a German coach. Pretty much I already have my own team now, but I'm still doing sales, dealing with people a lot, which pretty much we help students to reach level of fluency within 12 weeks. So far, a very successful business, but of course, always challenges, or always some challenges that, yeah, that's why I was here to fix that.
You've also been a member of our group program as well, right? So
Correct.
we've worked one-on-one together several times. You've worked with me in the group program. Can you describe, because you joined the group program several years ago, can you describe what the differences have been so far in working in the group community versus working one-on-one?
Absolutely. Well, even though like before when we worked together with your first program for me was again even that time amazing, but if you now compare like group and one-on-one, huge difference. For example, in the call you need to wait. We work immediately on my problem, and this was like very beneficial for me. It was like very customized, and we were able really to dive deeper into my struggles, right? So that was like the biggest benefit of working with someone one-on-one.
More one-on-one attention, deeper work together, more focused work together. Yeah,
Right.
definitely,
Right.
definitely. You did amazingly well, though. That being said, in the group program, and from my perspective, because I see the patterns as how people win, how they succeed, and what those patterns are with people that really get great results in any kind of program. And what I perceived in you was that you were very accountable to yourself. You would always show up. You were always there. You were always there, like immediately on time as soon as the call would start. And you would always utilize, often you would utilize the time that you were there on the call. You'd jump out, you'd ask questions. And the other thing that I really noticed about you is that when you would receive guidance, you would then just act on it. You would execute like right away. You just like you ask questions if you needed to for clarity, and then you jump in and start taking action. And then you'd come back with an update, a report. Here's a question that I have for that I need for further clarity, and you'd share your wins and how this is working for you. So I really want to emphasize that that has been so critical to your success from my perspective. And it's made the process of working with you much more effective and much more simple as well. It's streamlined the process.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's both ways, like, I mean, it's 50-50. You can be here to help me, but if I don't implement certain things, there's no progress. There are no results.
Yeah. Yeah. So talk more about the experience. You said it was your two main priorities in resuming one-on-one this time was fear of having a heart attack, and then the challenge with feeling triggered, feeling emotional triggers, and dealing related to business. Can you share more about what those experiences were like and how they impacted the quality of your life and your business as well? Because I'm sure that you're not the only one that experiences these kinds of things. And I find that it's really helpful for people to go, oh, yeah, I resonate. I feel that. I felt that way before. So what was that like for you?
Well, the biggest problem is that you have certain problem, right? Certain things are happening to you, but you don't know why, right? You try to Google it, and then you get like 1,000 solutions, right? I don't know, like you should sleep more, you should do this, you should that, but never actually worked, right? Because I was always trying to find some external, how to say, solution, but everything was internally, like everything was inside of the me, right? And the biggest obstacle is like when that happened, you're like, okay, what should I do now? How to react? And then you have a fear that this will happen again, right? Especially this with heart attack, because you don't know, okay, how this could affect my body, because it's not healthy environment to be like to feel like this, right? And also as well, when you get triggered by other people, for example, when you feel, let's say, sad or anger or something like this, again, you don't know how to communicate, because at the end of the day, this will happen again, again, again. And every time when it happens again, it's getting worse, right? The certain things link together, and then emotions are even stronger. So it's not like that it will go away, but it will just get doubled. And what I like the most, what we did together, is that I learned a lot about myself, right? Every time in my life I was trying to copy some other people, their lifestyle, okay, getting up earlier, eat this, doing this kind of exercises. But I was never like learning about myself. Who am I as a person? Why I'm here? What is the best thing to do so that I will get the best results, right? And this is what I like, that we learn a lot. Like that gym profile, we have learned exactly, okay, from the moment when I came to this earth, okay, what is my goal here, and what should I focus on?
So you were able to, so that's a really good breakdown. You were able to understand using that profiling system what your key areas for growth were and what your biggest challenges were in different areas of your life, right? What keeps you healthy and radiant and vibrant, your vitality. And when we unlock the insight around these different areas, you're able to just start taking action in alignment with what that guidance is. So look, if this kind of behavior, if this kind of lifestyle or routine is what will enable me to thrive in all these different ways, then all I need to do is follow that guidance and act on it. And then your vitality, your radiance will just start to unfold. It will just start to activate within you because you're simply living in a way that allows for you to be vitally radiant.
Exactly.
Having been, being a coach yourself and having been through many coaching programs, what would you say is required? What is critical for someone coming into a coaching program to have in their mind? How do they need to approach the work, the coaching, so that they can actually win? How can they get results?
Well, absolutely disconnect your ego from questioning, putting some questions, why it's like this, like, should I do this? Like, and just, trying to be smart about something that you don't know, right? So when I start working with you, even though I knew certain things, I act like I don't know anything. And then I was just implementing everything without now trying to do it my way or something like this. So the way you told me, I did exactly that way. And then, of course, if I need feedback, then we have discussed it, right? And the most important is consistency. Like you are not able to get results if you do it like from time to time, if you take it like a hobby, like you're in or you're out. There's no other way. This is something that I also do with my students as well. I tell them like also when they're joining my program, hey, like here you're 100% in, and this is the only way how you can get results. And it's something that everyone should consider. Results is just there because of your personal effort and of course because of you.
It really is a combination between what you come into the program with, what your intention is, and then obviously the program, the content, the training, the guidance as well.
Yeah.
It really is a partnership in every way. Yeah.
No emotions. Like the words that people do is like they wait for a trigger of like motivation or something like this. Like you take it as a job,
Yeah.
like 9 to 5, and you just do it. It's your job to fix this, and there's no emotions there. For example, there's a time to take action. You just do it. You don't wait. You don't think. You just take action, and you don't expect results now, first day. No, results comes with effort and with time, and this is what was the most important.
Very good points. That's one thing that I've really noticed, not so like also in my own life, but in general, for anyone that wins, anyone that does very well in life, is that they embrace the long-term game. They understand that this is a journey, and they come in setting the correct expectations, not expecting that, okay, it's got to happen quickly or on some specific timeline that I've decided. There is this real importance of surrender and humility and saying, look, if I'm in this to win, then that's really my only focus. That's my only goal. So if I'm in this to win, then I'm going to let go of time. Now, ironically, when you let go of time, you're actually opening things up to happen at a faster pace, as opposed to when you're overly controlling. It's got to happen now. It's got to happen now. Because, the ego jumps in. We got to have it now. It's got to be now. But what we don't realize that's actually happening is that the ego is trying to control, the mind's trying to control all the elements that we don't really know necessarily. We don't always know everything that's a part of the journey. But when we try and control, we're just making things more challenging, more difficult, and it's unnecessary, right? The more you just surrender and say, okay, I'm a blank slate, I'm an open book, let's go, show me the way, I'll execute, and I'll ask for guidance when I need to.
Yeah, I mean, what I also have noticed, like also working with people, that people mostly give up before they will succeed. Like, for example, there's a certain things on what they're working on, right? And there's a struggle and they stop there. But this is just like one step more and you're there, right? And this is okay, this is the first level. And then again, like the whole life is like about you becoming better. And this is what I like the most. That, for example, I mentioned at the beginning of the call that my biggest stress was like dealing with other people, getting stressed when other people triggers me. But now I've learned that those people are there to help me to grow, to show me that I'm the problem. I'm the one who is responsible for my action and how I react and how I treat myself emotionally. And this is something which is now perfect. So, for example, I was in the gym yesterday, and there's only one guy who's kept coming there, and he's like scrolling through Instagram loudly, like zero respect to other people, right? And for me, it was so annoying, right? And if I talk now, like for example, 2, 3 months ago, because he's coming there for already like a couple months, right? But yesterday when I was there, I saw this and I was like, thank you. Thank you for addressing that where I get triggered because one day I'll be a millionaire. I'll have like 100 employees or even more. So what I will do then when I have even bigger program, how will I react on that?
Hmm.
And now whenever certain things happen, I analyze, wow, like this thing triggers me. Let's see why, then I have good understanding and then you don't have that hate towards people, but you have a love. Okay, thank you for showing me the way, because you need to fail to become better, right? So you need to have those. There's nothing like just like this, it's just go, that's how everything goes. And then you just slowly going up, and all those bad things that happen in your life, it's just chance for you to learn, or some people will give up and they just pull back.
So here you are in the gym, and this was an example of one of your main priorities in working together was getting triggered by other people's behavior, right? And it would show up often in professional settings, but obviously this can show up all throughout life in any context. It doesn't matter. Here you are in the gym. There's someone doing something that would have previously really gotten under your skin and annoyed you, right? Now, in that moment, when you're triggered into any kind of emotion, you're in an emotional state now. In that moment of being triggered into a lower emotional state, you've lost your power. We become unconscious, right? And this happens to everyone, right? We become unconscious and we lose our power. We go into lower vibration. And now we feel like we are a victim of what is happening outside of us. If only this guy could act differently, if he could be different, act different, if he just knew better, if only he had more respect, he wouldn't do that. And I wouldn't be annoyed. But he's not being that way. And so now I'm annoyed. Now that's that state of lower vibration that becomes triggered. Now, what you're saying is that because you've resolved a lot of the conditioning, because all that causes that trigger is unconscious conditioning. And so when we were working together, we found pockets of energy imbalances or unconscious conditioning, emotional and mental conditioning that was causing the trigger. They're like the buttons. So, when we say, oh, he pushed my button, well, these emotions and belief systems and parts of our mind are like the buttons. So, if that, let's say, wounded part of the, or perfectionist part, let's say, which we all have, if that has some kind of issue with whatever's going on, all of a sudden we see it, boom, button pushed. Now I'm in a state of being in which I feel like a victim of what's happening to me. So what we did is we realigned a lot of these so-called buttons and released a lot of these charges, these emotional charges. So now you go in and you're there at the gym and you perceive the same kind of thing happening. But the difference is you're thinking and feeling in a new way, a way that causes you to perceive the situation in a way that empowers you instead of makes you feel automatically like a victim, like it would have in the past, and going, oh, aggression, he's wrong, this kind of thing. And all of a sudden, it's like gratitude. That's how you know, brother, that you've really made progress in this way, is that when you can look upon the so-called oppressor, the person that got under your skin, and go, oh, I have a deeper understanding. And I feel grateful for this moment. In that moment, we let go of victimhood. We become empowered. We become responsible. That's real growth.
Absolutely.
That's real growth, man. I'm so happy to hear that, because it shows up in all these different ways. when you least expect it. Your world just shifts around you as you shift. Now, Yvonne, can you talk more about, let's say, and because I really want to kind of gain your understanding here as well, because you are a successful coach. And I know that when people are watching these kinds of videos and interviews, that they want to win. Everyone wants to win when they join a program. They want to get their desired results, but not everyone does. And so we've touched on that there's certain patterns, there's certain things that a member, a client needs to do in order to ensure that they win, to increase the probability of their success. Can you talk a bit about what it's like for yourself or what you've noticed with clients that, let's say, they're doing well, but then let's say they have kind of they stumble or they fall off their balance? What would you recommend that someone does in that moment to regain their empowerment, their composure, and get back on track?
Well, absolutely don't forget like why you're here, like why you even started. That's number one. Because also it's something that I also say to my students as well, that you're here to get results, right? So let's not involve our emotions, not just hope that we'll be motivated. Let's don't give up, because every moment when you have a challenge, that's the perfect moment to become even better, right? So of course, throughout our journey, also as I'm like, okay, I don't want to do that, but I just did it, like no matter what, and you feel better about yourself because you did something for yourself. You became better and you learned something. So
Yes.
if someone wants to get results, first of all, just don't think too much, take action, and be coachable. That's the most important. Just be coachable. Like in the school when we were small kids, like we don't listen, here also as well. Just listen, follow, implement. That's the most important thing, and ask for the feedback. Don't try to think that, okay, I'm fine or something like this. No, no, no. Like, you're not. Otherwise, you won't be where you're at.
Yeah. You're describing how winners behave. If you think that you already know everything, then you wouldn't be in need of the opportunity to learn something new. There wouldn't be anything new to learn or to become. And that's what I've noticed about people who do really well in life is they recognize when they have the opportunity to learn. And when they do that, they then humble themselves and go, yeah, I may know a lot. I may have a lot of experience and a background and everything. But for now, so that I can get the most out of this, so that I can continue to grow and become better, I'm going to put all of that on the side, right? I'm going to put all that on the side so that I can really get the most out of what I'm doing here. And I think that's been such a critical element to your success. So I really wanted to emphasize that because I think that's like what makes it or breaks it for people in any program. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like many people, they work on many different things, like they're on fitness, right, to look better and everything. Not many people work on their mind, which is pretty much is for everything, how you will become better, how you will move to the next level. And whatever it is, everything is in your head, your success, your results, your ability to help someone. Because if you not able to recognize who are you and why you act like you act or react to certain things, how are you going to help someone else, right? Because, for example, what we have learned here now, it helps me a lot to recognize when my client is struggling with something, when he has a problem, right? Then I can really recognize, oh, wow, like I know this is familiar, and now I know how to react. And this is
Yes.
something which is like really, really good. And this reflects on everything in sales, marketing, generally communicating with people in day-to-day life, relationship, like for example, me and my wife, everything is connected. So everything starts from here and then the rest.
This is wisdom right here. I really hope that people are resonating and really clicking what you're saying with what you're saying because it's so true. It's so true. And success is really simple when you understand how it happens and what it's a consequence of. And I'm really glad that you're sharing all of these nuggets because I myself, I used to go through many coaching programs as well and didn't get the results that I wanted to. And then when I started to change the way that I was relating to things, when I started to change the way that I was approaching things, and I just changed myself in this way, all of a sudden, the results were easy. They were natural. Why? Because they were just a consequence of the shift that was made within. Now, Yvonne, you spoke earlier about understanding, using our profiling system, understanding certain areas for your growth and certain specific challenges. What kind of challenges or shadows would undermine your success in different areas? And one of the things that we discovered was that acceptance is a core pathway for you. And what we realized was that this trigger, these challenges that you were experiencing professionally, were highlighting that challenge with practicing acceptance, practicing acceptance. And what we realized, what pinpointed, was that the more you practice acceptance, and this, even though this is specific to you, this is going to apply to everyone as well in different ways. The more you practice acceptance, the more you're going to remain in your state of power and less likely, far less likely to fall into the shadow of feeling at the effect, feeling like a victim of someone else's behavior. Can you just expand more on how this shift into acceptance and gaining this insight that, oh, these people are my teachers. They're teaching me, they're challenging me with letting go of that reactivity. Can you share more or expand on how that shift, how this understanding and how this shift has impacted the quality of your life?
Well, I'll start immediately from the family because it changed my relationship with my father, like in a very, very positive way. Because before I wasn't able to understand certain thing about him, the way he act and everything. And now when I have learned so much about myself and how everything is connected and how we all as a people are connected, like our relationship is like high level, like very, very high level and completely different when I understand now myself and even himself better than he does. So immediately have changed relationship with my parents, with my wife as well. And also as well, I know exactly how my day should be, right? Many times in my life, I have felt sadness, right? I don't even know why, because I wasn't hitting my highest potential. So for example, I never knew that. Actually, I kind of knew, but I didn't know why, that I often need something new to happen in my life. So something to, some innovation, for example, whether that would be in my apartment, whether that would be buying a new t-shirt. And I often felt guilt that this is wrong, but this is actually who am I? I like innovation. I like new things. I like things to be refreshed, whether that would be, for example, clean my balcony or clean my room. And this is what makes me happy. But before I felt like I'm wrong, that this is wrong. That's not normal behavior, like, or whatsoever. But no, this is actually who am I, right? So when you learn these kind of things about yourself, that you are perfect as you are, you just have to accept that and leave that, start living that way and not trying to be something that you're not, right? I'll give one example. On Instagram, I was always like recording some new videos and always have that ego. I don't want to do the same video as other people. I don't want to copy them. I want to be unique, you know. But me as a person in my gene key, I'm not the one who is like inventing things. I'm the one who is taking invented things and make them better. And once I learned that, what I took, I found some video on which was viral on Instagram, and I wasn't trying to make completely new, but just to make it even better. And as soon as I started doing this, on one video, I got like 250,000 views and 7,000 followers, which I never had since I started my business. And now I start doing everything like this. Life is like more effortless. I'm more feel fulfilled. And whenever I feel that something is missing, oh, you're not doing this. So, for example, if I feel sad, oh, refreshment. You know exactly how to cure yourself, and that's the best. Because the worst thing is that you know that something is wrong and you know how to help yourself. But when you know exactly why you feel like this, exactly why you feel sad, why you feel anger, and when you know that, just to have that knowledge, like emotions are natural to come, but those emotions now are gone in like a couple seconds because you have those aha moments every time when something gets triggered and you know exactly, okay, why it came. Perfect. I should work a little bit more on this, like do some tapping, visualization, and voila, that's it.
Hmm. You're empowered now with the tools and understanding the awareness of how to release your own shadows, integrate your own shadows, use your shadows for personal growth and evolution. And that's really my hope for people when I work with people is that they become empowered to do exactly that, to integrate their own shadow and recognize that that's really what our triggers are. That's what our challenges are. They're not cause for complaint or feeling like a victim. And you've done so well, Yvonne. And I really want to honor you for how well you've done. And I hope that, my hope in sharing these interviews is that people get to take a peek into the mind of a successful person. You are an amazing example of a successful person, Yvonne. I want to thank you for taking the time for this interview today.
Thanks so much. Likewise. Also happy to meet you, and as well, what can I say? Like, it was a long journey. Happy that even start working with you even 2 years ago, now again. And yeah, for sure, we're gonna work again in the future. I always like to grow and to become better.
Cheers, brother. Thank you, Yvonne.
Welcome.
For me, the moral of the story is that if you want to learn effectively, you must be teachable. Teachability is only possible when you've chosen to be humble. Humility opens the mind, and it's this decision to remain as an open vessel and not closed off to learning new things that defines the growth mindset. So, what has been your pattern? Could opening your mind to greater learning through humility and decisiveness cause you to break old patterns and form new ones? All it requires is your choice.